Hello and welcome back to this channel. So in today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to add texture to your artwork. That is, you could add watercolor paper texture or canvas texture or anything that you want to any of your artwork to make it look pretty nice and maybe look like a painting. So let's just get started. So as usual, I don't like to just show you how to do it because that seems very boring, but instead we're going to do some very simple snowdrop illustration and then add texture to it. If you're not interested in drawing this but just want to know how to do it, go ahead and skip to the timestamp mentioned somewhere here or in the description box below, and then it'll show you how to add the texture directly. Okay, so let's start. Click on home and I'm going to go to custom size and I will go to digital and click on square. So this is a basic Instagram size and that's what we're going to use today. So let me go ahead and bring in the sketch. If you want the sketch, you can find the link in the description box below. To bring in the sketch, just click on your photos, go to your photos, and you can find the sketch in your album. Just bring it in here and click on done. You can also click on levels here and click on multiply to remove the white background, by the way, and reduce the opacity if you want to. But since it's so thin and light, and I think I'm just going to leave it at that. Okay, so let's start off by actually making the background now. So go to the layer below the sketch layer. If you don't have it, click on a plus. I'm going to use a brush called as pastel brushes that is in dry media, and then you have hard pastel. Pastel. I don't know how it's pronounced, but it's something like that. And now I'll go ahead and add some dark stuff here and a lighter shade here. So you don't have to really draw the background first, but it's totally up to you. And once you have that ready, you can actually change the color to something you want. Maybe blue or maybe a green. And I want to make it darker. I'm going to add some here and there. I'm going to come back to this background layer later to edit it more, but right now I'm just going to keep it at that. Okay, now click on a new layer, and as you can see, you can't see your artwork at all because it was drawn in black. So on the new layer, we're going to do all our drawings, but right now the background is making very difficult, so I'm just going to uncheck that. But since snowdrops are a little white in color, we won't be able to see anything when we draw. So I'm going to click on a new layer, go to my fill tool, and I will choose something which is like random color, and I'll fill it in with a vector brush. So now I can see the Florence as well. So I'll go to a new layer. For this illustration, I'm going to choose a brush called as Blair, which is under painting, and the first one, that is Blair. Let's go to the color now, and I will choose white. The good thing about this brush is like when you put it, you have to increase the size, obviously. I've set it to about 162, and you can see it creates a very texture like this. And then when you put in a lot of pressure, I'm going to reduce this to 86. It creates more whiter looking texture like that. So we're going to go ahead and draw all our snowdrops like that. And as I told you, this exercise is not about how to draw, but this is basically about learning a new technique. So you can see there's a difference in color, and that's exactly what we want. Make sure you don't put a lot of pressure on this side and just draw. And when it comes to this side, put a lot of pressure and draw. Okay, add a bit more color here, just like that. Okay, our snowdrop flowers are ready, and now it's time for the greens. So I'm going to go ahead and choose a green. By the way, if you want the same color palette, I'll provide a link to download it in the description box below. I'm going to choose some green and draw as well. And then just draw it like this. As you can see, my sketch is so rough. Now it's time to add some leaves. So I'm going to click on a new layer, and you can add the leaves in different colors if you want. You can choose some of these same colors. I'm going to click on a new layer and choose a bit lighter. And just draw some lines as such. You can choose the other color as well, which we chose earlier. And go back to that layer and make some strokes like this if you want. Okay, and now let's go ahead and check our background layer and uncheck this, and then you can see that you have your artwork ready. And I'm going to go ahead and edit a bit here if I want, but I think it's overall it looks fine. Okay, so let me just go ahead and edit the background layer a bit by going to my darker color. And obviously we're going to go back to the dry media and hard paster. And I'm going to add a bit of black here and there. Oops, I'm doing it on the wrong layer, by the way. Undo it by using your 2-finger tap. Go to your background layer, and you can always add things like that. And on the top, you can add in anything you want. And I think a darker green would be nicer here. Maybe not. I don't know, it's up to you to decide what you want and what you don't want. Once you have decided on your whole artwork, I'm going to go ahead and uncheck the sketch. Now it's time to add the texture. I know it was super simple and we did it pretty quick, but you can go ahead and do any kind of artwork that you want. But the whole thing about this is adding texture. So now if you want to use the same texture that I'm using here, you can find the link in the description box below to the website from where you can download it for free. Just so you know, you can find a lot of such textures online. You just have to Google like watercolor paper texture, wood texture, canvas texture, or something like that, and you'll have access to download these. And a lot of websites offer it for free, but be careful when you do that because some of them are free for personal use only and you can't actually use it in any other projects. So there are websites which actually let you download these things for free and use it for commercial use as well. So once you have that and you download it onto your iPad, all you have to do is go ahead and bring it in. So click on your photos, go to your photos, and you have to choose the texture that you want to put in. I have this really nice pink texture, so I'm just going to go ahead and increase the size so that it covers everything, and then click on done. So I'll make sure that I bring this texture all the way up to the top layer so that all the artwork is below it. I'll click on levels and click on multiply. So now if you scroll in, you can see that our artwork has really nice texture here. You know, I hope you can see that through the video, but that's how awesome it looks. But obviously we have all these extra things which we don't need. So what we're going to do is we're going to select all other layers, click on one of the layers, click on select multiple, and let's select everything except the texture one and click on the folder. And now go to your texture layer and click on clipping mask, and it's going to clip so that the texture is just on the artwork and nothing else. See here? That's awesome. If you feel like you want to adjust the texture a little bit, you can always go to the clipping mask, click on your transform tool, and you can actually adjust it so that it sits where you want it to sit, or maybe, you know, turn it around and stuff like that, or I don't know, just increase the size and click on done. And now you can see that all these snowdrops have this awesome texture. So basically this is how you add texture. But there's one thing you should know is like if your texture, the image is very dark in color, then it tends to pick out the darker color in it. For example, if you look at this artwork that I did, obviously this has the same texture. I'm going to uncheck that, and I tried to put in another texture, and this was really dark metallic texture. So if I go here and increase the opacity, so this is how it looked like. This is how it looked like. And so obviously I reduced the opacity to just have the texture, but still. So you can see that the color comes through, doesn't matter. So obviously you need to be careful about the texture that you put in. Okay, so that brings us to the end of this tutorial, and I really hope you liked it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up and don't forget to hit that like button and the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you get notified every time I post a new video. Okay, I guess I'll see you in the next video then. Bye-bye.